We are on a Windows computer about to access our 40 times 4K zoom PTZ camera. It's an extremely powerful camera. Just typing in its IP address, accessing the web interface. Again, this is in Windows. I just so happen to be using Chrome, but you could use any of your favorite web browsers. If it prompts you with a message, you're going to want to open that to allow your browser to access the video stream from your camera. You're going to need to type in the username and password and log in. I pressed enter, or you could click the login button. Within moments, you're going to be presented with video from the camera, and this is its widest angle of view. You can come over here to click the zoom out button to make sure you're in the widest angle view, and then you have some other zoom and iris controls here as well. Now, the neat thing about this camera is it will autofocus as you're zooming in and out, so if you want to move your camera and zoom in to any of these places, you can even choose the speed. There's a max speed of 8 and the lowest speed of 1. So to finally adjust the camera, you can zoom it in. So not only will it intelligently zoom and focus, you can also expect the speed to adjust based on your zoom level, so that way you're not overshooting any of your fine-tuned controls. So you could zoom in on a roadway that's opposite of your parking lot to look at the make and model or color of vehicles. And this happens to be around 200 feet away. So now with this truck passing, I'm able to see it go by. You could also pan to the right. And this parking lot is roughly 300 feet away, where this Chevy Traverse is, and I'm able to actually zoom all the way in and see the Traverse text on this vehicle. And this is actually roughly around 350 feet away in this parking lot across the street. So zooming it back out. If you don't like the fine-tune controls and you just want to use the 3D targeting feature, it's very useful. You click right on this icon here. You drag and draw a rectangle. What this does is it tells the camera to intelligently detect what you've drawn, and you can keep going, so the camera finally goes to where you want it to see, until you're at the maximum zoom that the camera has to offer. So like we show you in the Mac portion of this video, you can also go in peripheral, and if there's any sort of moisture on your lens or glass for your camera, you can use the wiper. So that's going to run a wiper. You can see the shadow go across, and that was the wiper. You can click it again to turn the wiper off. Go back into PTZ control and zoom this camera back out, and I'll show you that the camera is actually able to see a stop sign that's roughly a quarter mile away. So if I go into PTZ function, you can set presets based on where you want the camera to see at any given moment. You can even set those presets up to trigger rules that can go to another preset, or just have AI detection rules for that specific preset. Like I mentioned, my preset 1 here is aimed at a stop sign that's roughly around a quarter mile away or 1,300 feet away from this camera. So if I double click on this preset, my camera is going to spin, turn, and move. And then you see that stop sign, it's small and then it gets bigger and bigger. You can actually see the characters not only on the stop sign, but also the road sign that sits on top of the stop sign. Like I said, that's a quarter mile away that this camera is able to see. And if we pan up or tilt up, we can even see the residential buildings that are over a quarter mile away from the camera. So this camera is extremely powerful depending on what you want to use it for, whether you're using it for surveillance purposes or outdoors to look at wildlife or various other purposes we've had customers use this camera for.
If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.